All right, so tonight, I'm not even going to bother with what the mainstream media is covering today. Because tonight, I want to take some time out to shine a light on something that happened yesterday at the White House press briefing, which should make everybody in the mainstream media stop and think. But since they're not talking about it today, unfortunately, that means that it hasn't. You see, at yesterday's press briefing, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney praised journalists that have been putting themselves into dangerous situations to bring the whole truth, to bring the story. Specifically, he was referring to the two journalists killed in Syria, Marie Colvin and Ochlik. Now, let's also not forget that Anthony Shadid died in Syria just last week. These journalists deserve respect, they deserve praise, they deserve commemoration. But this is where something really interesting happened. ABC's senior White House correspondent Jake Tapper took this opportunity to call out the administration on its double standard of praising journalists who go abroad and yet waging a war on whistleblowers and journalists right here at home.
The White House keeps praising these journalists who have been killed.
I don't know about keeps. I think
well, you've done it twice.
Times,
Vice President Biden did it in a statement. How does that square with the fact that this administration has been so aggressively trying to stop aggressive journalism in the United States by using the Espionage Act to take whistleblowers to court? You're currently, I think that you've invoked it the 6th time, and before the Obama administration it had only been used 3 times in history. This is the 6th time you're suing a CIA officer for allegedly providing information in 2009 about CIA torture. Certainly that's something that's in the public interest of the United States. This administration is taking this person to court. There just seems to be a disconnect here. You want aggressive journalism abroad, you just don't want it in the United States.
Well,
now, all I got to say there is bravo, Jake Tapper. These are issues that we talk about all the time here on this show, and so refreshing to see somebody who actually has access to the White House bring it up, call them out, grill Jay Carney. But now, let's take a look at Carney's rather pathetic response.
I would hesitate to speak to any particular case for obvious reasons, and I would refer you to the Department of Justice for more on that. I think we absolutely honor and praise the bravery of reporters who are placing themselves in extremely dangerous situations in order to bring the story of oppression and brutality to the world. I think that is commendable, and it's certainly worth noting by us. And as somebody who knew both Anthony and Marie, I particularly appreciate what they did to bring that story to the American people. As for other cases, again, without addressing any specific case, I think that there are issues here that involve highly sensitive classified information, and I think that those are divulging that kind of information is a serious issue, and always has been.
Not shocking at all that he would say that he doesn't want to refer to any specific case, right? That's always a good cop-out to get away from having to admit that there is a broad-scale policy of aggressively going after journalists and whistleblowers that's being carried out by this administration. Now, as to saying, though, that this deals only with classified information, well, guess what? We see this administration pick and choose which leaks they want to go to the press and which ones they want to keep secret all the time. There are entire books out there. Bob Woodward's Obama's Wars, for example, that you could argue are all about high-level officials sharing classified information, leaking things willfully. So let's stop pretending that there isn't a double standard here, okay, Jay Carney? And not every one of the people that this administration is so aggressively pursuing is some government or military employee. There are actual journalists out there that are being attacked as well. Just think of the case of James Risen, who we spoke about yesterday, where they're actively trying to pressure him to give up his sources. But anyway, you guys hear about us talk about this stuff all the time here on this show. Why this stands out is because it's actually happening from within the White House press corps. So thank you, Jake Tapper. If you remember, he also gave Jay Carney a pretty good grilling after Anwar al-Awlaki was killed. But the sad truth is that he shouldn't be the only one doing this. This should not be some rare moment where we actually pat a journalist on the back. This is how it should be every day. This is the media's job. And yet nobody else in the mainstream media has dared to do it. They haven't even bothered to play this clip and talk about what happened yesterday. Because our mainstream media is a sad, pathetic bunch of subservient government lapdogs who choose to miss.